If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
Nice crowd.
Now, another Friday night at the America First Warehouse, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Glad you're in. A room full of Patriots again over here at the America First Warehouse, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody, on a Friday night. Lots to do. The gang is all here. Slick Rick sitting to my right is going to do sports. Slickster, how are you?
Doing good, Big D. Wow, what a crowd tonight. Love it.
Crowd at the America First
Rock and
Warehouse.
roll.
Locked in and ready to go. How was your day, Slick?
Fantastic.
Well, what did you do?
Well, the best part of my day is being here, obviously. But I had a lot of running around to do today, Big D, taking care of business. Nothing exciting, though. Not a usual exciting day for me of out there partying. Just straight work today.
All right, straight work. I like that, Slick.
For a change.
Vinnie Mac is here.
That's right.
Vinnie Mac's going to do the news. I'd ask Vin what he did today, but we know anything that revolves even walking the dog, Vin thinks he worked too hard. So, but Vin, how are you?
Yeah, well, I had an interesting day today. I shall share with you. You know, Kevin and I worked on our new song. We performed My Sharona a little earlier on the piano, and we recorded it, and it was amazing. You were, by the way, you were fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Hate to brag.
Yeah, well.
Were you really? Yeah.
Yeah.
He got the knack, huh?
Yeah, he's got the knack completely.
Did you send it up to the booth?
It's up at the booth. They've got that. And
Oh,
Kevin's
boy.
got a radio show, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard. So you can catch that song on the radio show.
Aaron,
I know this radio.
if that video finds it to air, you're fired.
Hey,
Video will never see the light of day.
Okay, thank
What
you.
a boss.
Of course, me and Aaron are right on the same page. so.
Yes.
All right, very good. Vinnie Mac's going to have the news. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do some news as well. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I am good. I am good. I had an equally spectacular day. My cortisone shot went well, so I'm walking. Yes.
Okay, good.
I didn't know this. It's an epidural. They put it into your spine.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I didn't know that. Anytime I hear the word epidural, I think pregnancy. It's like they got me down on this thing. I was expecting them to lift my legs up.
Are you sure you're not pregnant?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, these days.
that went well, though.
He's too
Okay,
old
good.
to get pregnant.
Yeah. You're not identifying as anything we
No.
talk about, right? Okay.
No.
You sure?
All right, very good.
I don't think anybody can identify what I am.
All right. Well,
That's been established already. Yes.
yeah, good point taken there. Kevin Downey Jr., the host, I hear, of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show,
Hey, DJ.
Thank you.
is here. KDJ, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Big D. I got to tell you, I wasn't here last week, and my clown slapping pimp hand is getting out of control. I got to clown slap a commie or two today.
Where were you last week?
I was on a gig in Coles Point, Virginia, and may I say greetings to the Olsons, who drove about 90 minutes to come to the show. Big fans, and they wanted me to say hello to all the boys when I got back. So hello, boys, from the Olsons of Richmond, Virginia.
The Olsen twins?
Yeah, the twins
No,
or
Oh, man.
No.
No.
I mean, it is amazing, right? They drive 90 miles to come see you because they love this show.
Yeah, big fans. Never miss it.
Great.
That's great.
All right, very
great.
good. KDJ's going to have, he's going to have news, but he's going to be out in the audience with all of you as well. If you want to talk to KDJ during one of the breaks, let Harry on the highway know. Harry's standing right over there with the headset on. And we'll get you hooked up with Kevin because we'd love to get to the audience here, obviously on Friday nights. Paul Nolan sitting right here to my left is going to do some news as well. Mr. Nolan, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. We had a rocking crowd tonight. We appreciate this. But my day was busy. You know, I knew KBJ and Vin were going to be working on that song, so I worked on a dance routine all afternoon.
Yeah.
It's coming along fabulously.
Paul, point your toes. Point your toes, please.
Yeah. Did you guys work this out in the green room or something?
No, this is all spontaneous stuff. Yeah, David.
Okay, very good.
and he used the word fabulously in the right context.
Yeah.
Way to go, Paul.
Working on that too.
Speaking of music, since you guys are talking about the songs and recordings, did anybody see our guy today? Guam tip over.
You mean Hank Tip Over Johnson?
Hank Johnson.
Oh, God.
Did you have that clip? Did you
Oh
pull
yeah,
this guy?
Kevin was actually on top of it before I was.
Massacring one of the easier songs to play on the Strat.
Oh God!
I said I tweeted it out and I said, if Guitar Center ever tips over, maybe we could get this guy a tuner.
Oh, the guitar is in the key of non-binary.
Right.
It's horrible.
Yeah, you talk about it in the key of non-binary. This makes Bon Iver look like Mozart. We have this clip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Aaron. So this is this moron. What's his name?
His name is Representative Hank Tipover Johnson.
Yes.
You might know him from his exploits with Guam and too many military members on an island to tip it over. He's out of Georgia, and he's my personal favorite.
I think he smoked too many of the doobies when he was saying, because when you watch him, he's like, could the island tip over if there's too many airplanes?
No, that's just a stroke. So there's many.
I wish we had that clip because the admiral taking the question was just like, how did this guy ever get elected?
Yeah.
And let alone, how did he even get here today?
So he decides today that he's going to do his anti-Trump thing, and how he's going to express it is to grab a guitar.
Oh God.
And I guess try to play Jimi Hendrix. So Aaron, roll as much of this, get the bomb ready, but as much of this as I can take. Roll this.
It's more like Jimmy
compelled
Heinrich.
with a new guitar and with some thoughts about that old song, Hey Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
To give some commentary on where we are now. Hey, Trump. Where you going with that gun in your hand?
This guy's priceless.
What a treasure.
Aaron.
Jimi Hendrix is puking out his own vomit again.
Yo, dog, a little pitchy, dog, a little pitchy.
I mean, what possesses them to think that
Well,
this?
it's a talent. It's a talent.
Who does this land with?
He's
Who's the target audience of this?
The deaf.
The deaf, yeah. Yeah.
That would be about it. I mean, what else could you say about it? He's quite terrible, like awful in public. It's great. I love it. I want to hear more of this. I want this in and out of every break tonight. He's so good.
It's making my Sharona sound pretty damn good right now, I have to tell you. We were pretty
Honestly,
damn good.
what do you think that guy's IQ is? Over or under Forrest Gump?
I'm going to say under.
He was 78, right? I'm thinking he's got to be right around 78.
I say
75.
take either one of those numbers away, and you've got the answer.
7 or 8.
Exactly. So, well, to be serious, there is a report this week that came out that I think got little attention. It certainly should have gotten more in my estimation, but obviously given everything that's going on, I feel like it flew under the radar. Number one, just because of what's going on. Number two, because it was in the New York Times and it was basically preaching to the audience there. But I noticed it, and I was going to bring it up the last couple of nights, but let me start with it tonight because I love this headline. I mean, I like to start with good, feel-good news. Headline, the DNC is in chaos and desperate for cash. Under its new leader, Ken Martin, the Democratic National Committee has been plagued by infighting and a drop in big donations, raising alarms from Democrats as they try to win back power. And I'll just give you just a little bit of the opening paragraph here. Just months into the tenure of their new party leader, Ken Martin, the DNC's financial situation has grown so bleak that top officials have discussed whether they might need to borrow money this year to keep paying the bills.
Yeah, they got to start working in lira, I believe, going forward. They, one word, USAID.
Yeah.
Okay, that is that. The Doge did a number on that. They're not funneling money all around the back door.
Yeah.
Thank you. We almost forgot about Doge, right? Since Elon left, but Doge is like one of the most important things that has happening within our government. And here's a result. All that corrupt money not going to the DNC anymore. And there's lawsuits, there's people getting arrested. There were two guys arrested today. So that's where this is going. It's that, I don't want to say dark money, but that corrupt money that they're missing.
You mean our tax dollars?
I mean, our tax dollars.
Our tax dollars that they stole.
They should sell some of that Hank Johnson weed to the people.
Yeah.
Make a fortune.
Little island flipping.
No, man. I want the Guam weed.
It says fundraising from major donors. I mean, I can't imagine why. Some of whom Mr. Martin has spoken with has slowed sharply.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's expanded the party's financial commitments in every state, and even to far-flung territories like Guam. I swear to God, that's in there.
Oh, God.
Fellow Democrats are grumbling that Martin, who quietly accepted a raise after taking this post, has been badly distracted by internal battles.
So he's trying to flip Guam.
Well, I don't know. I think they're flailing at everything they can flail at, obviously. And listen, I mean, when we talk about we talk about 26, people just assume, because it's kind of, the party in power is always going in at a disadvantage. But I don't think by any stretch it's a given that the Republicans are looking at some blue wave or somehow are going to be running from way behind going into 26. If anything, I think we're running well from in front with Trump. And I think as long as things continue the way they're going, I don't see 26 being any kind of a wipeout just because we're the party that's in charge at all. What do you think?
No, we talked about this last night. This red wave, I believe, is really going to happen in 26 in a big way. This is the party that's on like 5% of the population agrees with the stuff they're doing. They're the ones that have tried to literally destroy this country piece by piece. And what's happened is a slight awakening has happened. No one believes or even watches the left-wing news anymore. So they're not getting that information, and also they're not believing it. Finally, people have really crossed over. Not the full amount. There's still those hardcore progressives that you just kind of I battle with them on Facebook on a regular basis, so I know they're out there. But they're still out there, but they're in much smaller numbers. And common sense and just good things. How do you argue against the border? I wasn't for, I don't like when Biden had the borders open. How about no one coming across now? Zero. One big fat zero. How about that? That's common sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I think has happened.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, for one, I personally think the economies are still going to explode and it's going to be out. I just think the market's going to crank. I think business will start to boom. I think the midterms are going to be a cinch for us.
Yep.
And to your point, it's still funny how you said about those hardcore lefties who won't remotely acknowledge things like, the border and how many people Obama deported back. 5.5 million. Because remember, it was a Koch brother right-wing conspiracy to bring cheap labor in.
Yeah.
And every lefty in the world wanted him out. Now they want him here. What's really? So at the pace we're at right now, Trump's not even going to come close to what Obama did in terms of deportation, but they don't care. It doesn't matter. The TV didn't tell them
to that
what
point.
To say.
I don't remember this clip, but I just saw the clip of Obama sitting with Jose Diaz from NBC, MSNBC, and the guy asked him, "Can you slow down deporting people?" And Obama says, "Well, no, my job is to enforce the laws that are on the books." Have you seen this clip?
Yeah.
I thought it was AI when I first saw it. I'm like, there's no way this clip is real. It's actually real.
Yeah.
He says, if I did that, I wouldn't be following the law. And my job is to enforce the law that's on the books. If I don't like it, I need Congress to change it.
That was the mentality then. I don't know what happened to these people. Space age.
Orange Man bad.
All right, just getting started on a Friday night live at the America First Warehouse. We'll do sports when we get back. News with all the boys. It's a busy Friday night. We're back right after this.
Our mics are off now.
No, they're on now.
They're on.
Yep. Give a shout out to.
Can we do a KDJ now?
All right, everybody. Thank you. You did a great job in that first segment. Good job. Good job.
He's a great guy.
Trying to line somebody up for the next one.
Oh, so not now?
No.
All right. Harry says no, not now.
Yeah, he's cool.
But
dude.
who?
I got to reach out to him again. He's
All my Facebook fans out there, all my friends, saying hi to you all. It's tough to type during the show, so I want to say hi verbally.
He's great. If he doesn't, he's vicious.
Let's test this. 1, 2.
Yep, it's good. All right, so let's get the shot set up.
Stand right here. We'll have the nice background.
I'm like, how do you
know what you want to say?
You all catch my behind the scenes on Facebook. I hope you have. And Kevin and I performing My Sharona. It's on Facebook. Take a look at
He's
it.
a good guy, man. That's the thing is, you guys really get along.
Kev, slide this way.
Yeah, we're at the high school.
I want to shoot into the
that's fun.
into the pictures. Harry,
So, Vin, I don't know if you saw this story that's kind of floating around social media. Women in France are getting pet pigs to keep the Muslims away from them. They're walking pigs on leashes because Muslim guys don't want to be around. Because you know the rape gangs are bigger than ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you know, there's a massive story going on in England right now. There's a gigantic cover-up going on over the truth about these rape gangs and these grooming gangs. The government was caught.
And they won't touch them.
Misfiling data, floating out false reports, and the BBC keeps regurgitating them. So that's a story. I don't know if you saw that.
They flooded them in Germany, France, and England.
Just give me 1 second. Go ahead, Aaron.
Sign off on the shot.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Is he going to move in, or is he just going to start right there? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. It's wide. It's wider than I thought it was, so that's good. Yeah.
That actually is nice.
This will be fun. Say whatever you want. We just can't curse, of course. Okay. You don't look like a big curse.
It's about time they're paying that price, Paul. You know, I mean, that's what's happening here. They're just not the Muslims flooding our country.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember those years? There was like when Merkel first got in an office, and
100%.
I mean, London's not what it was, man.
Oh no! And
look at Ireland,
Scotland, France, England. But meanwhile, Poland is exempt from it all, and right because they don't let anybody in.
No, they're so smart too.
Hungary's not letting.
Yeah.
Baby. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Live from Studio 6B at the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue on the planet. Speaking of patriotic, I've got Patriot Alma with me. Let's hear it for Patriot Alma. From New Hampshire, all the way down. Thanks for coming. Alma,
thank you.
What is on your mind?
I think the left has completely lost it.
No! Was it when they were cutting wieners off of little boys? Was that the giveaway?
Lunatics.
The senators, which ones you thinking of?
Oh, Padilla, all of them. And the reps that are just...
Did you say Padilla?
Padilla, but what's this, Padilla?
Let's do an impression of Padilla. Ready? All right, Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, God. Can't stand her either.
Let's do an impression of Elizabeth. We can do this all day. All right. If you could send one of the senators to the cornfield, who would it be?
Oh, let's go with Jasmine Crockett. Or Rep.
Yeah.
Or
She's a...
Shit. Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Shifty, yeah, he smells like Schiff. Get rid of that Schiff. When I was a kid, we had dogs. I had to clean up the Schiff in the backyard.
I do that all the time, yeah.
All right. So, what do you like best about President Trump? What's he done that you went, wow, I can't believe it, America's back again?
The border.
Yes, the border.
Yes.
No, totally. No one snuck over last month. You see that? No. May of last year, 62,000. May of this year, 0.
Is that amazing?
Crickets.
And it could be done.
It can be done. It can be done. All right. When I say, ready? On 3. Ready? Fight, fight, fight. Back to you, Big D.
All right.
We planned that one well, huh? Thank you.
Thank you. Television. All right, KDJ there with another great Patriot here at the America First Warehouse.
Ask her if she knows my Sharona.
Shut up, Vin. Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Glad you're in. All the boys are here. We're going to get to all the news that we can handle here tonight. We'll start, though, as we always do, with sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. It'll give you a great savings. The Slickster is here right next to me. Slickster, how are you? What's going on in sports?
Let's go to the scoreboard. Big D's old stomping grounds, right? The Travelers Championship. Round 2, play complete, TPC River Highlands, Cromwell, Connecticut. Yeah. We have a 3-way tie. Justin Thomas, Tommy Fleetwood, and Scotty Scheffler, all with a 2-day 9 under. So this one's going to go down to the wire.
Oh, man, what a shootout that's going to be.
Total shootout.
I'm thinking about going up there this weekend and watch some of it.
Oh, you're going to take the ferry over. Why not? Come on. Yeah. And Major League Baseball, we'll get to some scores right now. Rangers 4-2 over the Pirates, top of the 6th. End of 3, we have the Yankees leading the Orioles 3-2. Yankees trying to find those winning ways back. Rays Rays 2-0 over the Tigers, bottom one. Bottom of the fourth, White Sox blanking the Blue Jays 7-0. Marlins over the Braves 4-1, bottom four. No score, top of the fourth, Mets and Phillies. Cardinals over the Reds 1-0. Also in the bottom of the fourth. Top of the first, Twins and Brewers, no score. Earlier today at Wrigley, the Mariners down the Cubs 9-4. Diamondbacks taking on the Rockies, Astros at the Angels, Royals taking on the Padres, and Guardians and Athletics, as well as Nationals and Dodgers. A lot of baseball tonight, guys, on the diamond. We'll keep you up to date on that as well. And I called it last night. What did I tell you? NBA Finals going to a Game 7. First time since 2016. How do you like that one? Unbelievable. Indiana Pacers blowout Thunder to set up first NBA Finals Game 7 since 16. Obi Toppin, right? The old Knick leads Indiana with 20 points. So I had to get that in there, with 20 points off the bench as Thunder struggle with 21 turnovers. Scott Thompson of Fox News reporting. It will come down to Game 7 to determine who will lift the Larry O'Brien Trophy as the Indiana Pacers blew out the Oklahoma City Thunder 108-91 on their home court to force a final game in the NBA Finals. The Pacers went into their final home game of the season in a must-win scenario, and the entire team from the starting five to the bench knew the assignment at hand, running away with the game and never letting Oklahoma City sniff a chance at a comeback. Now, for the first time since the Cleveland Cavaliers' famous comeback against the Golden State Warriors in 2016, there will be a Game 7 in the finals. You knew it, right? American Idol's not on ABC anymore, so they got to ramp up the Sunday night coverage. I just had a feeling that game was going to go, the series was going to go 7.
American Idol.
Yeah, well, that's what used to be on ABC. I used to watch it. Anyway,
dog.
but bottom line is it looks good, Big D. So we'll have a full report on that on Monday, as well as the golf. I'll have some rodeo, Friday night rodeo coming up as well, and we got a couple other stories to get to. That's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. Let's do some of the greatest headlines in the world.
Oh, my goodness.
Starts with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. One word, EternalLifeCoin.com. Check it out. It is a great piece if you're looking to give somebody who's religious in your life or somebody who wants something as a remembrance to hold on to. Go to EternalLifeCoin.com. They sponsor news. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, I thought I'd grace you with the greatest headlines in the world, Damon, by starting off with this one. And I'm not sure how you feel about this. It's been getting a lot of play lately. You may have seen it on, X or somewhere on social media. I'm talking about the new Democrat attack ad that they've got out there. Oh, it's meant to scare you like crazy, especially if you're someone with dark hair, like most of the population. Here it is. This is cut number 5. Check this out. As Democrats try to scare everyone into thinking they're going to be deported. Check this out.
Oh, yeah.
I had a really good time today.
Yeah, me too. I really look.
What are you doing? She's coming with us. What are you talking about? Who are you? I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're rounding up illegals.
She was born here. She's a citizen.
I don't care. She looks like one of them. But don't worry. When she's in prison in El Salvador, she'll have lots of company.
Come on.
Oh, my God. That can't be real.
That's a real
Wes
ad.
Craven.
On.
I thought that was a joke.
Stop.
I thought it was too. Is that real?
That's a real ad. Yeah. Even what's his name? Fang posted it.
Aaron, let me see the last screen. Let me see the last part of that. What's the screenshot say at the bottom? Paid for by who? I mean, that's got to be AI. What does that say? Paid for by who?
At Progressive, I don't know. It disappeared before I could read it.
It could be real. The Democratic Party
Progressive Action Fund 945.
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the
There you have
Progressive
it.
Action Fund.
Wow.
945.
It is real.
It's, of course, it's their latest attack ad, of course, to make sure that they scare everybody into thinking they could be a victim next, right?
God knows, I'm petrified.
And what's great is at the end, the guy they cast as the Republican actually looks more like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Joe Biden as he leans in and whispers all creepy like, she's going to have a lot of fun.
And he looks like he took a sniff, too, right?
Right, he was taking a sniff.
He didn't sniff the girl in there.
I'm going to go home to find out my
smells
bag of
terrific.
Doritos got deported.
I mean, it's amazing that the Democrats would post something like this, when they don't even know what a woman is, yet they're going to sit there and tell you they're grabbing them. It's just amazing stuff.
Should have been a new program by Tinder to get rid of your bad dates.
Yeah.
But it's basically it's
ice them out.
It's the Marxist talking point, right? Is you try to scare everyone into thinking, oh my goodness, this could happen to you. This is part of the tactic.
Yep, scared people are easy to control. But come on, who's going to believe that?
This is why they're not going to win.
Plenty.
What are you blue-haired gorgons? That's what.
But this is why they're not going to win in 2026, like we talk about in the opening. They put out stuff like this. It's so ridiculous. And even their followers got to look at this and be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we're going to grab people off the street arbitrarily. This is what ICE is doing?
And then whisper into their
normal lefty's got to look at that like their drunk uncle at a baseball game.
Exactly.
Right. Like,
Oh, God.
Please stop.
And meanwhile, they're doing that in Ukraine and sending young guys to the battlefield. They're picking them off the streets. Women are next.
Yeah.
Maybe they should keep it for them.
Oh, my God.
True story.
Yeah, so there you have it. The latest attack ad from the Democrats. You know, let's face it, they're going to try to play the victim any way they can. And hey, you can be one too if you have dark hair.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that awesome? So there you have it, Dave.
That's crazy. All right, what else?
And you didn't think that was real? That's the crazy
I did
part.
not. No.
It was because it was so bad.
All right, 1 minute. Let's take the break. We'll do
Take
more
a break.
news.
We need a break from that.
Live from Studio 6B. We're back at the American First Warehouse. Right after this.
Chat live in the chat. Everybody in the crowd is doing a great. You guys are great.
About J6, is that cool? Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Baseball players. I think they have a good chance next to the side rows. They get better.
I'm trying to keep up with the social media chat here.
I know,
Saying hi
it's
to
tough.
Julie
Things are
Sanders.
flying.
I wish it was that.
Okay, let's do that.
They released that Mohammed Kalali kid, Columbia student.
Federal judge said he needs to be released on bail or put in a jail near his wife and child. So I think that was the two options there. Another federal judge jumping in and making an arbitrary ruling from a district unrelated to wherever the incident is.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad.
Chat live's in the chat. Let's see. What do we got? Jesus Perez.
We get any super chats tonight?
No, I haven't seen any yet in the YouTubes.
No super chats.
We're gonna get pizza.
Wasted Aliens is in there.
We had good pizza
Did you
tonight.
see
Chris
Gavin
D.
Newsom challenge J.D. Vance to a debate?
Moon Pie.
He must be
Susie Gentleman.
smoking.
Yeah, he must be smoking the same ganja.
JD will smoke him.
I wouldn't want to debate J.D. Vance.
Jalen 12 in the
No
Rumble
way.
chat says this is the scare Gen Z. Very, very true.
And they keep re-electing him.
There's no way anybody could possibly believe that ad. They're hiring horror film directors now to do their ads.
Is it really? What town?
Between Jackson and Memphis, the murder capital of the world.
Oh. Yeah, it is.
Greta Garbo, where you been? How is everything over there? You know, we have a super fan of Greta Garbo, and they had tornadoes and stuff like that where she lives. Very, very, very difficult situation there. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad to see you back on.
Where is she?
Is she in Kansas or?
Greta's got a big farm. She's invited us out to the farm.
Yeah, I forgot where she was.
I love when people say
Somewhere in Midwest.
She said you can milk some cows.
Vin.
She offered that up.
Really?
She did.
That's a
What state?
moving statement.
What state is she in?
I'm going to double check. I think Indiana, but Greta, which state are you in?
Indiana, Kentucky.
New Orleans has been corrupt.
She's going to respond here soon, I'm sure.
Might be Kentucky.
She's told me. I just got to look back
Have
at
you
the
heard from
messages.
our girl Tanita Samuels at all?
Yeah.
She's on Facebook
She's my
all the
favorite.
time, yeah.
She's been with the show since 2015.
Yeah.
the America First Warehouse. You're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice. We've got Patriot Tommy here from Mississippi. Give it up for Patriot Tommy.
Wow. Mississippi.
Now, Patriot Tommy, rumor has it you and I were in the same place on January 6th back a couple years ago. Is that true?
I think it's safe for us to say it now. Yeah, since we have pardons, yeah.
Yeah, we were there, and now you were on a certain side of the building. Everyone knows the sad story of Ashley Babbitt, but there's another woman who got murdered that a lot of folks don't know about. Can you tell us about that? You were near there, right?
Yeah, so I was trapped beside Roseanne Boylan for the last 8 minutes of her life. So when you see the most violent imagery from that side of the Capitol, we're so far at the bottom of the pileup you can't see us, but you can see everybody looking at us. And the long story short is D.C. Metro cop Lila Morris picks up a stick and beats Roseanne to death with it on the steps of the Capitol.
And she broke the first stick and found a second one, didn't she?
Yeah, well, there's actually somebody threw a walking stick up there, and she hit her 4 times, and on the last one, she hit her so hard it jarred the stick loose, and it came flying out of her hand. Wow. Mm-hmm. And I actually had moved to D.C. and lived with Ashley Babbitt's mother for a year, and that's how we know Joe the Box. And Joe the Box is one of our biggest supporters. I could never thank him enough. Right.
All right, Joe.
You know, Tommy, I'm glad you mentioned her name because I feel she doesn't get the recognition she deserves. Yeah. Shoes on the other foot. How much are you enjoying watching the cops beat the potato salad out of a bunch of Antifa heads over in L.A.?
I just love those insurrectionists getting taken care of.
Insurrectionists, each and every one of them.
Yeah, they really earn the title, not like us, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Patriot Tommy, thanks for coming down. Spread the name. Roseanne Boylan. Back to you, Big D.
All right, KDJ, thank you very much. Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. All the boys are here. Slick's going to do some more sports. Delgado will do some more headlines. Vinnie Mac's going to have some news as well. KDJ will do some news. Paul Nolan as well. We'll continue to talk to you, the live from Studio 6B audience. Delgado, I feel like you only did one story. Why don't you give me one more quick one, and then we'll see what's on Vin's radar tonight.
Well, I don't know about quick, but I got some good stuff for you. How about some fun? You want to have a little bit of fun?
Always. Friday night. Let's go.
All right, Friday night fun. How about today being the 50th anniversary of the release of Jaws?
Yeah.
Remember that? Where were you when that movie came out? Let's see. So it was released 50 years ago. Steven Spielberg's Jaws celebrated the 50th anniversary today. When it hit, listen to some of these fun facts, which is crazy when you stop and think about it. In terms of money, Jaws opened in 409 theaters, recorded $7 million in the first weekend. $7 million in the first weekend. Grossed a record of $21 million in 10 days and exceeded $100 million in the first 59 days, beating out The Godfather for the highest grossing film in North American box office history at the time. How crazy is that?
I'm still traumatized.
Question, what would that be in today's money when you think about it? Theaters were charging what, $2 to get in?
Yeah, maybe
think about
$4.
how many people went through the turnstiles for that.
Yeah, crazy.
Chew on that one.
But now it makes you like. Do you remember when you saw it? Like how it affected you? I'm sure people in the audience remember this. I remember I was learning how to water ski that summer. In the Long Island Sound. If you're familiar with the Long Island Sound, you can see probably 2 feet down before all you see is green and dark.
Yes, it's
right?
true.
So there I am bobbing in the water at like 9 years old, waiting for my father to hit the gas on the boat and get me out of there because I keep looking down, waiting for a shark to sneak up and bite me in the ass.
I wouldn't take a bath for a month.
No, we're talking about back then, not now.
Beat me to it.
I was traumatized. I think a lot of people were traumatized. Yeah. We were young, man. Sharks in the water, swimming in the ocean. I mean, you always felt like something was coming after you.
Especially
I was the first jackass with the fake fin at the beach. Messing with people.
I can see you.
That's nice.
I can see that.
That's nice.
Always a troll.
What about your favorite line? It's got to have a favorite line, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Which one is it?
The bigger boat.
Bigger boat.
That's out of me.
Or what about the mayor? We're gonna hang him up by their Buster Browns. You know when he's talking about the kids graffitiing up the Amity Island.
I like
sign.
the scene where they're all getting waffled on the boat.
Yes,
they all did get drunk in that scene, by the way, when they made it. I don't know if you know some of the fun facts. That's a great film.
Yeah,
my favorite line is, "Ouch!"
Ouch! Anything else in the news?
That wasn't in the script, actually.
Yeah.
They ad-libbed that.
Yes. Do you want to do some news? We could do that.
Please.
Well, I thought that was. What? I thought that was a good little fun time Friday thing.
This segment brought to you by Siskel and Ebert.
What? A shark, swallow you whole. A little tenderizing, down you go, Damon.
Paging Rick Delgado. Paging Rick Delgado. Yes.
All right. I don't know about what about the deal with Iran and Israel. Of course, that continues on. Breaking news coming out. Believe it or not, Trump just he retruthed a message, basically talking about how he's not an isolationist. This coming from Mark Thiessen. He just put this screenshot up with the quote, "Donald Trump is not an isolationist, but I think some of the Republican isolationists are suddenly discovering that they're out of touch with the MAGA movement and Donald Trump." Thiessen says, "I have total confidence in Trump. This is the guy who killed Soleimani. You think he's afraid to take out Forgo? Of course not." So again, President Trump retruthing that from Mark Thiessen as we go into this weekend after he says, 2 weeks is the maximum amount of time that he's going to give Iran to come to the negotiating table. And let's face it, the way he's been handling this, I think is kind of classic Trump. I think we're missing it though, because so many times, he talks tough, but people cave, right? And then he gets what he wants. This time, it's not happening as quick. So what happened? He had the 60-day red line in the sand. On the 61, he said, "You're going to see what happened," and now they see what happened.
He spanked the dog.
Right. So it's almost like he's like the Don, right?
Yeah.
In the mob, he's like, you give it this much time. He sends out one of his capos, Benny the Jew, to do the dirty work, so to speak, and all of a sudden his hands are clean, but you got the message.
Yep.
And maybe the other players in the world, say Russia or China, are getting the message like maybe he is willing to go over that line, unlike the other guys before him.
Well, like Vince said last night, and I agree, and thinking about it more today, the 2-week thing, when I heard it, first of all, when he says we're going to negotiate, with who? I don't know, because they're all dead, supposedly. But I don't get, we've been doing this now he did it for 4 years, and now we've been doing it for 3 months, and now an extra 2 weeks is somehow meaning something. It just doesn't seem like the 2 weeks is legitimately for negotiate. Maybe that's a part of it.
Maybe,
but I feel like there's something else going on here.
Maybe it's because they want Iran to unload all its weaponry or a lot of its weaponry into Israel, so weakening their defense, and then you can come in and barrel your way through a lot easier. It could be because I'm pretty much certain we're going to be in a shooting war with our kids on the ground. That's what I think.
No way.
I don't think there's.
I'll bet you.
I say there's less than 0% chance of that.
I don't think so.
I'll make you a bet.
Well, we're here on TV. It's recorded, right? All the witnesses are out here. I think we're good. But we talked about last night, and I want to talk about your comment here for a second. So last night we talked about, okay, what's 2 weeks mean? What does 2 weeks mean? 2 weeks matters because these are very unscrupulous people. And they have terrorist groups all over the place. Who knows who has what, number one. I think Trump's just being cautious. He's just being like, you know what, if I might take 2 weeks just to make sure what I do actually works and that our people are safe. So I'm going to move our ships out there. I already moved a couple of our major ships out there, right? 3 of them are out there now. I want to make sure whatever we do 100% works. Not like the rest of the yo-yos that have run this country for decades, that do a bunch of crap that doesn't work, and then we're in a war. And that takes me to the point that Paul raised. And you have a point that a lot of people are saying. I totally understand that. In this case, I just don't agree, and I'll tell you why. This is a move by us to eliminate a nuclear threat. End of story with our bombs. We don't have soldiers over there in terms of lining up to go in like we did, when Kuwait was invaded and other things like that. The narrative has been, we're going to get in this war and Trump's going to, I thought he ran against this. Like, why was Trump pro-land war and all this stuff? It's not that. Common sense says Israel's doing the heavy lifting. Maybe they can't fully finish the job that we need to finish. We're going to finish that with a couple of bombs. Okay. We're going to finish that with a couple of bombs, but we're not sending troops in there. We're not rebuilding that country. We're not doing any of that stuff.
Will we send air power in there?
We might send some in to protect, but I think our main mission is going to be take out whatever we have to do.
You don't think we'd have to send heavy-duty bombing missions in to get underneath those mountainous ranges?
I think the Israelis are going to be our special forces. We're going to do our major bombing in with this bunker-busting bomb, right?
Right.
And the Israelis are going to be right there, going in like they did in Iraq, I believe, when they took out the nuclear facility there, and another one. They went down to 300 meters, and they blew that place up. They're going to do the same thing here. The Israelis are the bomb, man. They are doing what they got to do. Trump's just finishing it off. Sorry to disagree, but
I'm happy
I had
you
different
disagree.
points.
I think this conversation should be had because, I'm the only one here who does. I think this is going to continue to escalate because the several things that I know, givens in the equation are one what? Propaganda is everywhere from every direction. Yeah. So we know we can't trust the TV. Do we all agree we can't trust the mainstream media?
Right. No, yeah.
Do we all agree we can't trust the intelligence agencies? They endlessly lie.
Even if 50 of them sign a letter and send it to us?
Yeah, right.
Because I heard 50 of them signed a letter.
Yeah. That matters.
Yeah, so I'm convinced.
I think we also know that the war machine can't be stopped. What's the old expression? It doesn't matter who you vote for, you still get John McCain in there. The neocons run the deep state. MAGA's against the deep state. This whole thing was about busting up the right-left BS paradigm that has led us down a path of a weakened, useless U.S. dollar. So where the dollar is on the brink. You think about what a dollar was worth in 1913 compared to today. It's like 6 cents or 5 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
So what are we going to spend? This war's going to cost money. We're going to back it. What are you willing to spend of our taxpayer money on this?
I tell you what I'm willing not to spend. I'm willing to make sure that Russia and China don't get oil. I'm willing to make sure that China doesn't get Iran's oil. I'm making sure that Russia and China aren't working with Iran. This is stuff that scares me.
Well, yeah.
I'm willing to take whatever we need to do to take them out. No boots on the ground, no prolonged war. Just use our weapons and use Israel to get that conclusion.
President Trump was on the tarmac, and Paul brings up an interesting point about the intelligence community, and this was one of the things today that caught my attention. Here's President Trump today on taking a reporter's question on the tarmac. Listen to this, and then I'll tell you where I'm going here.
Since you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
Okay, so that was Trump on the tarmac today.
Yeah.
And then Tulsi Gabbard actually, if I can get to it, Tulsi Gabbard actually put something out after that. And in between finding Tulsi's tweet, I said it's going to be interesting, the influencers who are now going to tell us that we should trust the intel community and Gabbard over Trump as he says that. And literally 5 minutes later, Tulsi Gabbard puts out the following. The dishonest media is intellectually taking my testimony out of context and spreading fake news as a way to manufacture division. America has intelligence that Iran is at the point that it can produce a nuclear weapon within weeks if they decide to finalize the assembly. President Trump has been clear that can't happen, and I agree.
That's exactly right, and she's right.
Our live from Studio 6B, more to do from the America First Warehouse on a Friday night, right after this.
That's why I want to go because my point is not. I think this is
off my laptop.
So I'd like to have my point.
Okay.
Just because this is going to escalate. If you don't think this is going to escalate,
but this is the dispute within MAGA that it's good to talk about.
Yeah.
So
you were done. You went to the Mets. Yeah, you can't. Greatest home run hitter of his time.
Greta, you got to let us know where your home is. I forgot. I haven't seen your response.
We don't need the exact address.
No, not the. Yeah, well. Oh, here we go. I'm in South Central Kansas.
Oh, there you go, Kansas.
Yeah, right. 2 miles from Dorothy, I believe.
I'm going with Indiana. I know it does.
Got something good. I know.
South Central Kansas.
I was here. I was sent to make him a point.
Like a challenge coin?
We make That's my mom.
Always.
Oh, sorry to hear it.
How you doing?
No, that's great.
Yeah, Captain Lobano.
Might like that.
Where's Cindy Lauper? Oh, yeah, I didn't even see it.
You blend right in.
Nice.
I love challenge coins. Every time I do a military base, Joe, they hand you a challenge coin for the base. You can't not walk around without it.
This is going to escalate.
17 minutes. And what's your name? Rich. Rich, all right.
That was the point. I think it was going to escalate to the point. And I think Trump's the only guy who can stop it from really going full.
She couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
Conversation. No
Yeah.
There's
So you
no
want me to
way.
ask you a question?
It's like we also the problem I have with assuming that is Netanyahu's lied for what, since 1995? What is it, 26 times he's lied about anything now they have? When a boy
Do you
cries
make Trump
wolf that many
coins?
times, but the fact that Alex
You don't think so?
believes that Alex Jones, and he
watches it.
is as
So
good as
I thought so.
he's right 90% of the time.
So you want? Let me know. All right, thanks, man.
Right. Exactly. Well, but apparently it was.
30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
About regime change.
I don't have red heels, Kathleen. Sorry. Thank you.
No. And that's why, because the war machine can't be stopped.
Deborah Hagelson, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's like the lone voice up here, but I got to do it.
The Iran thing, I get it.
What's that?
And I feel pretty passionate about that response, by the way.
His son's turning 18.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the America First Warehouse. You're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice. We've got Patriot Rich with us. Give it up for Patriot Rich, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Patriot Rich, you do something that I find fascinating. Can you tell us what it is your company does?
We make coins. Any coin you want, we can put it on a coin, like that one you have in your...
A challenge coin?
Yeah, challenge coin.
All right, I perform at military bases all over, and every one I do, they give us a challenge coin. And the way it works is, if I go into a bar and someone slaps down their challenge coin and challenges me, if I don't have my coin, I got to buy that guy a drink. If I have my coin, he's got to buy me a drink.
Yeah, but is that coin silver?
Is it silver?
Yeah. That one's .999 silver.
Oh, well, thanks for that. I appreciate it. So you put anything on a coin?
Anything you want.
If I called you up and said, Rich, I want Joe Biden falling up the stairs on Air Force One, you can do that?
Absolutely.
What about if I said, Rich, I want a coin of Joe Biden dropping a crab cake in his pants in front of the Pope and having to go change his drawers? Could you do that?
Well, we could do it, but, you know.
Crab cake.
All right, tell us, Rich, what has Trump done so far that makes you say, man, I should put that on a coin?
It's too many things to list. He's done everything he's done is exactly what I wanted.
All right, so you're glad that he locked down the border?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Christian, is it wrong of me when I laugh watching some Gorgon with blue hair getting run over? You see how they try to stop the cars? They go, hey, I'm a communist, you better stop.
If they're in the way, they deserve it.
They deserve it. Thank you, Patriot Rich. Back to you, Big D. Let's get back to the show.
All right, KDJ. KDJ here at the America First Warehouse with another Patriot here in the audience. Great audience here tonight at the America First Warehouse. Boys are all here. Slick's going to do some more sports. Vinnie Mac's going to have some thoughts as well. As a matter of fact, Vinnie Mac, why don't you tell me right now what's going on your radar?
Yeah, well, the big headline today is Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell are still not living in the USA. Yeah. Huh? How's that?
I wondered why things were suddenly funnier.
Yeah, things are hilarious now.
They smell better.
This is true. So, of all the big time debates I get into on Facebook with my liberal friends, and unfortunately, I've got a lot of liberal friends, and they're constantly calling me names and saying I'm a conspiracy theorist and all this kind of stuff. And the one thing that always comes back that they really hammer on, besides January 6th, that's their big thing. Wait till the real story comes out on that one. Okay, we're waiting for that to come out, a big joke of a inquiry that they did, which was, by the way, speaking of, my years in Hollywood and all that stuff, it was produced by Hollywood producers. I mean, crazy. But the election, you don't believe, Vin, for a second, the 2020 election was stolen. Do you believe that for a second? I said I do. I think there's some smoke there. I think that how do you go from the amount of votes that occurred in 2020 and the amount of votes that happened before that and after that? Now you got the Chinese who were busted. We talked about this the other night and trying to make fake IDs. And you have a bunch of voting machines now that passwords got out and all this other conspiracy. The smoke is starting to bubble up. And Trump basically said, you know what, let's get a special prosecutor in here now, and let's really look at it. And before the left and all the progressives' heads explode like this is a conspiracy, this is one of the biggest issues we've ever faced in this country, ever. I feel like we're having this conversation about these huge issues that keep exploding in our faces, and this is one of them. And it's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory when it just doesn't make sense. The math doesn't add up. 1 + 1 is not 2. In the Democrats' world, 1 + 1 equals 200,000, and it changes the vote overnight with all the other nonsense they did. So Trump is calling for a special prosecutor. I give him one big hoo-ha on that one.
Good. Yes, 100%.
And I want to get to the bottom of this stuff. At the end of the day, it's not about retaliation. This is the other thing I hear. Oh, you want them to retaliate? He's running out. It's not about that. You guys set the country on the worst course you possibly could. You've turned us all upside down. You lied to us at every step of the way. And all we want is the freaking truth. We want to know what the hell happened.
And honest elections.
Honest elections, honest
stories.
Media. Honest everything. We don't get that. And hey, CNN's ratings, we have 3 times the audience as CNN has on prime time. And live from Studio 6B. All right? Nobody's watching. Nobody's paying attention to what they have going on. But this particular issue is as valuable to our national security as anything else. Because this is where we could become, a
banana republic.
Banana republic. Yeah. I was looking for that, but I shopped there in the old days. It was very good. I got a bunch of button downs from there.
Well, to your point, by the way, and it's not about retaliation, but it is good to see President Trump and President Trump, I won't say Republicans because they're useless. We always say when the Democrats are in power, even when they're not in power, they know how to leverage power. Yeah. They know how to leverage their power, whether it's a state level or at the federal level. They seem to be in charge even when they're not in charge. They've got judges. They know how to use it. It's just they always know how to use power, whether they're in power or not. At least now, Trump is right to appoint a special prosecutor. Use the power at your disposal that you have, and let's get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. There's too many unanswered questions. You talk about those 17 bellwether counties?
Yeah.
That was
every one of them.
Every one of them.
Think about it, except for the one that Reagan had the landslide in. Reagan lost by 15% in a Seattle bellwether.
Right.
Trump lost by 4. I mean, this was a blowout. We watched an absolute rout flipped overnight. It's a blowout. The machine's turned off. We wake up. He lost. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, please. How stupid do you think we are? I mean, it was a lot. We saw flotillas everywhere. We saw cars. We saw cars for miles and miles.
Right on Long Island,
like that.
Even in California, you saw these things.
We saw them in Arizona. We saw them
in Arizona. We saw them on Long Island. We saw them up and down the coast.
Anybody who believes that wasn't a rig job, they're delusional and they're lying and they can't give in.
Right.
Because let's be honest, forget about the fake Hunter laptop, the Russia lies, all of the endless amount of nonsense that Trump had to endure through that whole thing. It was still a blowout because everyone knew it was a lie.
Yeah. And then you have all the missing ballots. You had the driver from Long Island who said he carted
300,000 in a
Pennsylvania
truck.
that went missing.
His truck went missing.
Right.
The truck that he drove for 11 years.
Exactly.
From Bethpage to Pennsylvania. Right.
But every American, whether you're Democrat or Republican, what your party affiliation is, every American should be appalled by this.
It's
every
the end
one
of
us.
the republic. When the presidential election is robbed and messed with, the republic is over. The deep state has won. So
they're not going to win now. Trump's got a special prosecutor come in and we're
false
straighten
flag
this out.
operation. That's low-hanging fruit, so to speak, because everything hasn't been redacted. Like the Epstein, I think we can finally agree that we're not getting near the truth there, right? Could we probably say that?
No, I'm going to
there's been
hold
an
on.
attack?
I'm going to hold on for dear life. I'm holding on.
He's still
like
holding
that.
on.
I think you
I'm
should.
just holding on.
Good, I'm
like
glad.
that.
I'm with you then. I'll hang in there with you then. Thanks for the encouragement. But to me, if they could, get January 6th, that, like you said, that is the shining star for the liberal lunatics who think that, like, you get MAGA's so evil. MAGA is this ugly, anti-American group. That narrative gets deconstructed, and Pelosi gets exposed with her movie crew who making their documentary as footage is starting to come out. I think that's a game changer in the entire
Well, that's easy,
American
the
political
January
landscape.
6th thing, because that was such a joke. But the things that come back to me from people I went up debating this with is you just lost all credibility there. You're talking about the election being rigged. And, I go back to them and I just said, just do, basic math.
Yeah.
If the population doesn't vote like this, it's not normal.
Right.
And you're going to say that this guy, this old white guy who's never been in this position before, suddenly got more votes than Obama and Hillary.
Yeah,
He's white? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
Evil
live from
old
Studio
white guy.
6B at the America First Warehouse. More to do. Hour 2 coming up when we get back right after this.
Did you see your shirt?
Yes. Nice. What's your name? Liz. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
Happy to be here. Honored to be here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Oh, you know what? Let's just remember this light right here. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Check. All right, we're good. We're good. Thanks for coming down. How long was the drive?
It's like 3 hours to the ferry.
Oh, from Bridgeport?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it really? That's the way to do it, too, to take the ferry.
Do you see that
Just to
clip
come
with
down
Trump,
and around
Damon?
would add another 2 hours.
Where he said about
Especially
essentially
on Friday.
referring to Lindsey Graham needs to
They
shut
don't
his
watch what
mouth.
Five is a
saying,
mess.
yeah.
Coming out here because everyone's going to the east end of the island.
Right.
Montauk. Plus, it's kind of fun to be on a boat.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's just less stressful.
Yep. And there's a bar if you're not driving. Every time I go on the ferry, I make sure one of the other Canadians is driving. Like, yeah, you can drive this one. I'm having a drink on the boat.
He's putting his ears in. Hold on. Go ahead. He's got it. He's got it. Yep.
Damon and then you. Okay, thank you. You got it, right? You understand it?
I got it, Harry.
your television sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B.
Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, all across the country, and of course right here, 103.9 LI News Radio, Suffolk County and Long Island, New York. Glad you're in. We are live at the America First Warehouse with a room full of Patriots here tonight again. Slick's going to do some sports. Vinnie Mac is here. Rick Delgado, KDJ, Paul Nolan, all going to do the news. Speaking of KDJ, I see he's with another Patriot here at the America First Warehouse who's wearing the OG LFS6B Army shirt.
Wow, that's old school.
That shirt is my mother's favorite LFS6B shirt that we've ever put out. I think she wears it every day. I'm afraid to ask.
Don't say that.
Never washes it. But KDJ, who do you got with you?
Well, Big D, we got Patriot Liz here from New Hampshire with the shirt. You know what shirt you don't have, Liz? Is the I have a radio show. And,
wait a second. Since when?
It's a little. I just got it.
Shut up.
Now, Liz, you're from New Hampshire. It seems to me that some people got pretty lazy making up names for the new states from where they came from. Like they came from Hampshire, this is New Hampshire. They came from York, this is New York. They came from Mexico, this is, well, the whole country by this point, really, because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Liz, anything steaming your clams today?
Yes, I'm very concerned about the deep state and, in particular, what's happening, like the enemies within. And in regard to the Green Deal, I don't know if people are aware, but I kind of want to bring some awareness to the CO2 pipelines. I'm not sure if you guys have covered this, but they're trying to bury CO2 in pipelines and transport it into the ground. And it's really taking a toll on farmers, and it's really running over the property rights. And we're paying for it. I think it's $85 a ton. We're paying to store CO2 in the ground.
And what do you think their final goal is with that? Because I'll tell you mine, I think this is all a bunch of codswallop, as my grandmother would say. Climate change codswallop. I don't think there's a problem with any of this. I think this is all a ruse to control us. Am I wearing a tinfoil hat, Liz?
No, I think they want our farmland.
Exactly. Why?
Absolutely.
Because if they control the food, they control the people, right? But you know what? You know what we have? You know what we have that nowhere else in the world has? It's called the Second Amendment. All right? And when they come for our land, my musket happens to hold 30 rounds. I don't know about the old musket. Patriot Liz, thanks for coming down. You have a great point, and man, we'll see you again, I hope. Back to you, Big D.
Yeah, KDJ. She's got a great point, by the way. And we've talked about carbon capture and on this show extensively. This was one of the big problems I had with Kristi Noem when she was out in South Dakota.
Yep.
What was she doing when this came up there? She was all in on it. There's too many red states that are all in on this. And by the way, this is one of the huge problems with the big, beautiful bill. A lot of the green scam Inflation Reduction Act, which had nothing to do with inflation, which was a big green scam bill, is still getting funded in this thing. The Republicans have not taken it out, and it's a huge problem.
With 100%. Build Back Better, big, beautiful bill. It's two birds of the same feather. Like, it's the money that runs our politics, and the deep state is so deep and powerful. Is what we get for it. I mean, that's we got to stand up to it.
These green subsidies in there have not been taken out, and there's too many Republicans fighting to keep them in.
And that's BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, all using the quantum computing of Aladdin, the program that BlackRock built. Half the money in circulation is all tied in to the algorithm that forms public opinion. So when half the money in circulation, $22 trillion, is being used within that framework, how are they going to take it out?
Well, not only that, but look who's putting the bill together. The same people that put the Build Back Better building. It's the same people. It's the same people in office.
It's the
that
apparatus.
are submitting. They're all submitting their pieces so that it gets included. That's how these things get put together. It's not like one person sitting there jotting it all down. It's coming from all different directions. They stack it together and say, here's your bill. And then you got to vote on it. And even Trump said it. He goes, there's a lot in here I like. There's a lot in here I don't like. but I got to get the things I like passed. And how do you get the things you like passed? You got to take some of the
gotta
crap.
drop your shorts.
Yeah, you got to eat a crap sandwich to enjoy the
They got to break this thing up, though. They got to
Without
go,
a doubt.
deal
Right.
with these very important issues like tax cuts. Great. Can't we just do tax cuts? And then can't we just do some of these other little things?
We
and
could.
and then deal with this other stuff?
The Democrats did it. They passed 2 reconciliation bills when they were in power. Have you heard any Republican talk about it?
No.
No.
And that's my problem with the rhinos. Right? They're the sheep in wolf's
Well-
clothing that continue to let us down.
They're Democrats.
They really are. That's all
They
they
really are.
Couple things to get to here as we kick off hour 2 live at the America First Warehouse. We have a happy birthday here from somebody on our Twitter, LFS6B. Can you guys please wish my mom a happy 76th birthday? Her name is Patty from Indiana.
Happy birthday.
She
Indiana.
is watching.
Happy
you guys
birthday,
are
Patty.
her go-to. She always hangs up on me when you guys come on. She loves you all. So funny. So happy birthday to Patty in Indiana tonight watching.
Does she know Kevin has a musket?
Well, I don't know about
Because
that, but she knows.
I didn't know Kevin had a musket. Can you tell me how many muskets you do have?
Don't answer that.
No, they all fell into Lake Gitchagumi one year.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
boy.
When the gales of
With the
November
wreck of the
came
Edmonds
early.
Fitzgerald.
One other thing I wanted to get to, President Trump has a lot of good truths. You could hang this one, I think, in the Louvre. His is Donald Trump tonight on Truth. Why does Fox News allow failed TV personality Jessica Tarloff to soil the Five? Her voice, her manner, and above all else, what she says are a disgrace to television broadcasting. He's just getting started. I've had the best poll numbers that I've ever had, and she is constantly saying the exact opposite. The just out, highly respected Rasmussen poll has me at 56%, insider advantage at 54%, and many others are at 56 to as high as 68%. Sadly, the audience has to listen to her spew off that I am doing poorly in the polls while I'm beating every Democrat by at least 15 percentage plus points. And more importantly, I just won an election against 2 candidates, Sleepy Joe and Kamala, in a landslide by winning all 7 swing states and the popular vote by millions, with records broken everywhere. In all fairness to Jesse and Greg, who are terrific, they don't see all of those poll numbers and can't, therefore, come to my defense, but I can. Nobody can stand Jessica Tarloff.
She's terrible.
She lies over and over again, and MAGA is complaining big league that she's all over Fox. Watch their ratings go down by keeping her on the show. Nobody wants to listen to her. Why doesn't she talk about the fact that I had 0 illegal aliens coming to the country last month, whereas Sleepy Joe Biden allowed 62,000 people in, many from prisons, mental institutions, and gangs? People like Jessica Tarloff make MAGA absolutely hate Fox.
There you go.
That's the truth.
It's right there.
You know what?
They can come right here, right?
Yeah.
They can come right here.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know any MAGA that still watches Fox.
Me neither.
I don't know one.
No.
You got to be over 60.
Gutfeld. I like Gutfeld.
Yeah, Gutfeld's
Yeah, people
good.
watch Gutfeld.
He's real good.
Yeah. All right. Paul Nolan's here. He's got some news as well. Paul, you sent me a couple things that were on your mind. Tell me about them.
Well, there's quite a few things. We covered most of the main ones, and I know you guys are going to get to some of the other stories, but I thought off the radar, I thought this was fun to just to share. CNN admits Big Pharma underwrites programming. They claim Trump's HHS rule could cripple their network, as if it's not crippled already. But for decades, pharmaceutical companies have shelled out big bucks to broadcasters to place ads between their segments. But a pair of policies being considered by the U.S. Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy could change that and leave broadcasters in financial straits. While an outright ban, the 2 policies would make significantly more difficult for the drug companies, their products to be placed throughout the broadcasters' airwaves, according to Bloomberg. The policies look to either mandate that advertisers elaborate on the risks posed by their drugs, forcing ads to be longer and therefore more expensive, and bar drug makers from writing off direct-to-consumer ads as business expenses on their taxes, also increasing the bill. To me, I think this is one of those things that should be done. I think they shouldn't be on there. we see these drugs that they just pump.
Everything is brought to you by Pfizer. Brought to you
Side effect is dismemberment, and like how is that a side effect?
Right.
As the lady's dancing in the flowers, you may lose your.
They got one of their goofy dance numbers because of their Flomax or whatever they're doing.
Right.
But there was a study that showed that people who see an ad. A lot of people are hypochondriacs. They see it.
I got to get that. I got a hangnail.
I got that too.
Vin was talking about that last night, talking about the side effects. I mean, the side effects he's talking about probably take up 50 seconds of a 60-second ad, right? For what are you taking, Lipitor?
I was recently prescribed Lipitor, and I've been feeling not so great for like a week.
Yeah, it's
that. By the way, they're gone. They're down the toilet. I'm doing a natural remedy now, but. Yeah, it was just terrible. I'm like, this is supposed to help me. I feel like crap.
The studies that show it's linked to Alzheimer's is pretty obvious.
What?
And you know what?
I'll set him up all day.
Mom,
I'll play straight man all day.
Mom, can I get the chicken pot pie up here, please? Go ahead.
I also I know two people who did this. They walk into a doctor's office, and they just happen to know that the doctor there likes the New York Rangers. And you say, hey, you should try this new drug, Lipitor. You go, no, I'm pretty good. You go, okay. Hey, you know what? I can't use these tickets tonight. Do you want?
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, I don't know how well you know your doctor, but there are doctors who are taking bribes to prescribe drugs that they know really nothing about.
No, that was the whole painkiller controversy.
Yeah.
But, it's something you've talked about a lot.
Back in the day.
The war machine, right?
Yeah.
The deep state, these entities that live within the underground of the government, the health, pharma and health. These are the big three. Pharma and health, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whatever people may think about him or the rumors about him, whatever, he's spot on. It's not making us healthy. It's simply masking, symptoms and all that. Not
creating new
curing
symptoms
us.
for another problem.
Well, it's to make sure that they have a customer for life. They can't heal you, Vin, because if they heal you, then you won't come back and spend more money. So they have to give you something that will give you something else, that'll give you something else. But don't worry, they got a drug for that, and you can take that too. Next thing you know, you got a stack of 10 or 12 things as a cocktail, and you're walking around with a duck-billed platypus on your face because of all the side effects.
Look no further than these transgender operations.
Right.
Once they get a kid hooked on this stuff, they're hooked for life. It's like $60,000 a month in dope.
I want to get back to the platypus, please, if I could. What that means.
But I mean, that's the pharmaceutical industrial complex, right?
Yeah.
It's right up there. They control this whole segment, and they have a lot of money invested, and they're not about to let that go, and that's why they deem it, even though this stuff is only about 100 years old. Before that, it was all natural medicine. But now, if a natural medicine doctor says, you know what, maybe you should eat right, maybe you take some of these vitamins and eat some more of these fruits and vegetables, they go, oh, heresy! This person's a whack nut for suggesting healthy eating habits.
Think about how powerful they really are. They shut down a nation. They imposed martial law, and they took away religious rights and freedoms.
Yeah.
That's how powerful Big Pharma really is.
Yep. Big.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night from the America First Warehouse. More to do. KDJ and more sports with Slick coming up right after this.
Bring a pad or something. Make it be official.
I know how you felt because I used to get.
I felt so lethargic though. For me, it was like I felt like I had a gloss over my
Well, I
eyes.
told you it takes something out of the Lipitor, and this CoQ10 just really good work.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing that because I do feel like I'm walking around.
It'll work because it really doesn't get. Really? I didn't really have bad cholesterol either. In fact, I was like on a scale to whether you should get it or not. It's like, I'm taking it so like every 20 milligrams. So we got up to the CoQ10.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good advice. Thank you.
I'm thinking of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got him. I was going to have your dad do them.
Is he?
He said he'll do the reads for me. Oh, really? What? Don't say that. Don't say that about him. What is wrong with you? You're his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't be saying that. Am I on in the house? Can he hear me? Oh, my God.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That was good fun. Yeah, that's right. You're right. Really? A little while ago. Small world, right? Oh, yeah.
Why did she leave?
How you doing, all right? Yeah, thanks for coming down today. Yeah, right, rock and roll. Good to see you.
It's just as good, though. Are we doing a Q&A after the reads? Am I throwing to Kevin? Yes, we are. Okay. Put your headset on.
Harry! Put your headset on, Harry!
Well, there you go again.
Frank, can I have the Snoop one here?
You just sit back and let this
Nancy and I were just talking about that.
That's good stuff on that. So.
The blues. On a Friday night at the America First Warehouse, let me talk to you about our friends over at Birch Gold. Well, we're just days away from what has been dubbed the Rio Reset, the greatest threat to the U.S. dollar's global dominance in over 80 years. On July 6th, BRIC nations Russia, China, India, Iran, and many more. Iran may be a little short on sending people, but they're expected to unveil their plans to circumvent the U.S. dollar. By the way, I saw the debt clock today, over $37 trillion. Congratulations, everybody. You're broke. They're already been laying the groundwork as their central banks have been methodically divesting from the U.S. dollar and U.S. bonds in favor of gold. How can you protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout from this landmark shift? Well, you can diversify into gold with our friends from the Birch Gold Group. Historically, gold has been a safe haven in times of high uncertainty, which, of course, right now, that would qualify. Get a free information kit and tax-sheltered gold IRAs by texting the word America to 989898. That's all you got to do. Text the word America to the number 989898. July 6th marks a monumental shift happening among nations that control 1/3 of the world's GDP. Arm yourself with information to diversify your retirement savings. Text the word America to the number 989898 and claim your free information kit on gold from our friends over at Birch Gold. See if it's right for you. Text America to 989898 and do it today. Well, this month, Tax Network USA proudly celebrates our nation's birthday, honoring freedom, resilience, and financial independence. To mark the occasion, they're offering 10% off all services through July 4th. If you're dealing with back taxes or missed the April 15th deadline, don't wait. The IRS is rapidly stepping up enforcement. You know, penalties can add up quickly, up to 5% per month, maxing out at 25% of your total tax bill just for not filing. That's on top, of course, of what you already owe. But there's good news. Tax Network USA can still help you turn things around. Whether you're self-employed, run a business, or your books look like Harry on the Highway has been doing them, they're just a complete mess. Their team knows how to cut through the chaos and find solutions that work. Your consultation is always free, and getting ahead of the problem now could help you avoid harsh penalties, wage garnishments, or surprise bank levies. Take the first step right now. Call 1-800-905-8000, 1-800-905-8000, or visit tnusa.com, tnusa.com/RAV, R-A-V. Don't forget, you'll get 10% off all services through July 4th as part of their celebration of our nation's birthday. Regain control of your finances with expert help from our friends over at Tax Network USA. TNUSA.com/RAV, TNUSA.com/RAV, R-A-V, or call 1-800-905-8000, 1-800-905-8000. All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, America's First Warehouse. Glad you're in. 103.9 LI News Radio all over Long Island, New York. Glad you're in as well. KDJ is here, Kevin Downey Jr. He's the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show that you can hear right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Weekday mornings, 9 to 11 a.m. And then, of course, you can hear us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights, 8 to 10. KDJ's got another Patriot here at the America First Warehouse with him. KDJ, who do you got?
Thank you, Big D. We got Patriot Larry from Queens, New York, coming out. Wow. He got out of Commie Town, and he came to hang out with us. Larry, I'm on stage, and I'm a big TV star, as you know, as well as radio. And I noticed your shirt. And now what happens, folks, on the commercial is Harry on the highway, Joe the Box, and I, we run in the crowd, start trying to pimp people out to come over here and talk to me. And I was like, please get the guy with the shirt. And they heard my thoughts. Larry's here, and he's a big fan of the Second Amendment. We were talking about this before we came back. Larry, how good is the First Amendment without the Second?
Not good at all. I heard you talking about your musket.
Yeah.
I said, you guys are doing all the First Amendment rights here. But without that Second Amendment, you don't have a First Amendment.
Nope.
So that's what I'm all for. And I want everybody to be able to go out, get a permit, and learn to protect yourself. Get a firearm any way you can. Go to the school, train yourself, go to training, and learn to protect yourself. Because all hell is going to break loose, and you want to be prepared.
Exactly. Now, what are you selling, and how quick can I get one of these muskets? Cut to a commercial, Aaron.
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot.
Oh, man.
So let me ask you, you're a fan of the Second Amendment? Here's something I don't get. You're in Queens. This is Long Island. We're separated by nothing. Why are the gun laws so much more harsh in New York compared to Long Island or anywhere else?
Well, they don't want you having a firearm in New York City, in New York State.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the hardest states to get. Chicago might be even the hardest, right, city-wise. But the funny thing is that in Long Island, if you get a permit to carry a firearm, you can't go within the 5 boroughs with that firearm. But if you get a permit in the 5 boroughs, you're allowed to carry in a whole New York State.
Yep.
You know, that's the big difference.
Also, I happen to know if you go buy a box of ammo in New York, you get a background check. But I'm going to be in Pennsylvania this week, and I'm taking orders in case anyone needs anything. Larry, I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, what are you going to say?
Bring cash.
Bring cash. Thank you. Patriot Larry, back to you, Big D.
All right, KDJ, Kevin Downey Jr. over there with Larry. Larry's got me all nervous now, says things are going to go hog wild. I'm a little scared.
It's just muscat. Muscat. What do you call it?
What's that?
What do you have? The
musket.
Musket rounds. That's all.
The three
That's all you get.
musketeers, yeah.
Musket rounds. That's all it is.
Oh, man. Hey, I saw our friends over at the Babylon Bee. Slick, this is a good lead-in for you to do sports. Then we'll get to Kevin Downey Jr. The Dodgers have announced MS-13 Bottlehead Night. Let's do some more sports.
All right, they're going to keep that on ice, that move.
There you go.
We'll see.
Dodgers announced MS-13 Bottlehead.
That is so funny. They just keep hitting it out of the park.
Yeah, there you go. There's your guy right there. There you go. So, all right, let's do some sports. Our sports is not brought to you by MS-13. It's brought to you by Pillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slick's got it. What's going on?
Big D, it's Friday night. You know where we got to go?
Go
to the Rodeo Dodo. Here we go. Reno Rodeo in Nevada, or as Big D calls it, Nevada. Here we go, Big D. Reno, Nevada. Steer Wrestling just underway. First round leader, J.D. Struckness. 4.8 seconds. Team roping. Dustin Exquisa and J.C. Flake. 4.8 seconds. Tie down is Cash Wez. 8.6 seconds. And last but not least, because we only got 4 events underway, barrel racing, which is my favorite, Alyssa Urbank Wade. 17.3 tenths. Good time there on the barrel racing. So, yep, big rodeo. I'll recap everything, of course, on Monday night when we get back to the show. And, well, you know, some sad news in the NBA. Well, hopefully he'll be able to make it. But Vlade Divac, I don't know if you heard, he had a motorcycle crash earlier today. Very dangerous.
Oh.
And he ended up having to get his hip replaced. I got that story coming up right here. But, yes, ex-NBA great Vlade Divac breaks a hip in motorcycle accident. AP report out of Montenegro. Former NBA center Vlade Divac underwent emergency surgery after breaking a hip in a fall from his motorcycle in Montenegro. Doctors said Friday. The accident happened Thursday on a road near the Montenegrin Adriatic Sea coast. Hospital officials said Divac sustained a fracture and that an artificial hip was implanted. I mean, the guy's 7'1", so that'd be a hell of an implant. During the day, a surgical procedure was performed, said Dr. Mitrovic, a spokesman of the spine. No, it's really not that funny, but he's in stable and general physical condition, and is. I know we started off rough. The 7'1" Siberian center started and ended his 16-year NBA career. I mean, this is one of the great players of the LA Lakers. He also played for the Charlotte Hornets and the Sacramento Kings. He was an All-Star in 2001. He later served as general manager of the Kings. He also served 2 terms as head of the Serbian Olympic Committee. So Divac is 57 years old, and he was the first player who was born and who trained outside the United States to play in more than 1,000 games in the NBA. And he was elected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2019. So we wish Vlade well. And that's a wrap. Big D, back to you.
All right, KDJ, Kevin Downey Jr. coming up with some news when we get back from the America First Warehouse on a Friday night. Man, it goes too fast when we're here, right after this.
Look at Joe. Look at Joe.
Ruined from everywhere.
Leslie Jones, where are you in Florida, by the way?
I don't know news.
I head down to Sarasota. Yep.
I've heard of this, never heard of that. Yeah, I used to be all in on the X-ray.
Oh, about the black screen test and all that? Yeah, we didn't.
He thinks it's a PSYOP and a control op.
That's why they keep telling me so much.
Let's see, Leslie, I'm going to send you a note right now. Where in Florida are you?
He's the smartest thing I've ever met. He's so good. I love Dave.
Just curious. I got a place down in Florida during COVID. And I think I'm going to try and get residency now.
You doing somebody here?
For obvious reasons.
Things he finds, the way he sequences them on a daily, 2 shows. It's 40 minutes of content, 40 minutes of content.
I mean, you got to love the governor there. Mallory, California is such a beautiful state. It's an awesome place to live. I love every second of being there, but it is a communist state. It's hard to deal with all the stuff going on. It's just so damn beautiful. Yeah, it's a real bummer that they're screwing that state up.
Yep.
Fantastic show called SGT Report. I can't find it anywhere.
Here's my text to Amy today.
No, it was SGT. Outstanding. Do you ever listen to anything that like
Jim
pisses you off that like from the opposite end-ish of the talking spirits? I hate using that word. I don't know. I like to find some of the challenges, what I believe.
We're going to talk about something. I've got the guy's name. I was just reading it. You know how Whoopi Goldberg was like,
Donna Brown Taylor. I love Alabama, by the way. I'm down by, often down by Foley and right across from Mobile. What's that town? Daphne. Daphne. Yeah, really nice. Fairhope, really beautiful. The Gulf beaches there, awesome. And it's just a beautiful state on the Gulf of America. Thank you.
We talked to a lot of people. We got right down at 0, you know?
right here, sir.
Hey, Donna. Donna Brown Taylor. I was just talking about you, wasn't I?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice. Coming at you live from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in the galaxy. We've got Patriot Matt joining us. Matt, how are you, sir?
All right, Kevin, what's happening, brother?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't watch The View because I have a brain, but something's steaming your clams, isn't it?
Yes, it was, Kevin. But it actually turned out to be a great thing because the governor shut down The View. It was great because they thought they were setting him up, and he said, I'm happy to be an immigrant, but when you come to America, you have to do things legal. You have to behave. You cannot do things terrible. You have to do it legal. It was so great. They were trying to shut him down. They were trying to grab his arm, and he just kept going on. Yes, I love America. That's why I came here. All the opportunities. That's why you have to do it legal. You have to behave when you're here.
Wait, Arnold! Let's hear it. All right. Matt, can you give us one more? And as you're doing your Arnold impression, I'll do my impression of Whoopi Goldberg. Ready? Go.
Yes, America is great. You have to be legal. I said legal. I said legal.
She was out of control. That's a great impression. Matt, did you see Whoopi go to battle with a woman from Iran? She said, oh, it's horrible to be a woman in Iran. And Whoopi goes, well, we drag gay men here. We drag them by cars. Oh, and I looked up who was dragging the gay man. Not since 1981. Please.
She's out of her mind. She doesn't know what she's talking about. That's why you have to do it legal.
Not so sunny Austin.
Watch out, there's Obama out there.
KDJ, anything else news-wise that's been on your radar here that we haven't covered yet tonight?
Thanks, Big D. There's a new poll out. A new poll I thought I'd bring up. It's a little shocking.
And Damon loves the polls.
Oh, he does.
I do.
Absolutely.
So it looks like
Bad Rick.
Looks like most people in the Democratic Party, they want new leaders and they want less emphasis on trans issues.
Shocking. What a shock.
Yeah, it's not polling well. It's polling even worse with teenage boys of liberal moms who don't want their twig of berries clipped. And right after Clown College.
Muskets and twig and berries.
Whatever toilet country they're from. And the Democrats are more about snip, snip, ginsu, ginsu. And they're starting to realize that the American public, we're not really into that.
Yeah. Oh, we don't.
And just had to lose a couple of elections, but now they're finally coming around. But the big news, I like that. I love this, and I hope Tommy's still here, Patriot Tommy. Look at this. Trump DOJ actually prosecuting Antifa? What happened there? That never happens. Remember, Joe Biden, he cleared 50% of the federal charges against Antifa. Those are the Sally girls in Antifa. But now they're actually going after them, and they're pushing for the maximum, 20 years in prison for attacking ICE agents.
Speaking of going after people, I saw a report here. I saw something on social media tonight again, and I don't know if it's factual, but that Pam Bondi looks like she's building cases based around some of the stuff that Doge found. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I hope so.
And they're actually going after the people who are funding it. There's another group going after that. But right now, the real push is to nip this in the bud. Burn, burn, burn. Yeah. And they all got away with it. Except for those of us who were anywhere near the Capitol on January 6th. We did not. So, yeah, that's, you know what? I kind of wish they would stick to the trans issues because it's just going to be victory after victory. And those 14, 15-year-old boys who survived, they're never voting Democrat for the rest of their lives.
Oh, definitely.
Once they get old enough that, no, you tried to take...
Yeah, my twig and berries, yeah. Got it.
I would never vote for that party.
That is the scientific term.
Right. To put it frankly.
That's what I heard.
All right, very good, KDJ.
Frank and beans, you mean, Slick. Frank and beans.
Frank and beans. Hey, Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings tonight, who I think we all
love Scott Jennings.
Love, right? Scott
Jennings. Yeah. Guy's awesome.
This guy should have more zeros on his check for what he deals with over there at CNN every night. But he's got a op-ed opinion piece out tonight over at the Daily Mail. I don't know if it's in other places. I happen to catch it over there. Genocidal threat. But the fools who defend Tehran will never get it, he says. And And he says, I'll just give you a little bit towards the end. It's pretty long. It's very good, at least from skimming it. But he says Trump's America First foreign policy rests on a simple moral premise: peace through strength, deterrence through certainty. This is now a once-in-a-generation chance to finish the fight by striking Iran's Fordow nuclear enrichment facility, which is a fortress buried deep in the mountains, designed precisely to survive such a strike while enriching uranium to weapons grade. Destroying Fordow would not be an unprovoked escalation. It's self-defense, a clear signal that there is a price for threatening the civilized world and plotting genocide while crying victim to your journalists. It's a righteous act that would protect millions of innocent lives from future war and weaken every tentacle of Iran's terror empire. This is a chance not just to make the region safer, but to restore true American deterrence, the kind that makes bad actors think twice before threatening our citizens, threatening our friends. But whatever and however Trump decides to meet the objective, as a Trump voter and supporter, I say just let him cook. We voted for his judgment in these situations. He has more access to information than any single person in the world, and he has a clear-eyed view of what a nuclear-armed Iran means for the world. Trump is leading the fight to preserve and protect Western civilization from Iran and an axis of autocracies that are actively trying to destroy us. The president is now on the cusp of another historic action. The only issue now is how to proceed best.
Yeah, he's spot on. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I tell you, you know how I know Iran is building a bomb? I have proof. My proof is that the UN nuclear chief just came out and said that he sees no evidence Iran leaders are building a nuclear bomb. Okay? That's my proof. This is what's been happening for decades, though. It's funny, it's crazy, it's satirical, but they have been hiding and lying to us for so long. And Scott Jennings, man, he absolutely nailed it. Yeah. Two things that I've said on the show a few times: I trust Trump. I trust him. End of story. Yeah. He's going to do the right thing. It's why we all voted for him. And two, Iran's full of snakes, and we have to take care of these nuclear facilities.
Alex Jones tonight, and I don't watch a ton of him, but Alex Jones tonight said that he thinks they already have the bomb.
They definitely have them.
Right.
So that's the thing. According to so many sources, and look, you can say what you want about Alex Jones, and he made a huge mistake, obviously, but the guy has been right way more than he's wrong. Now, he may be a blowhard, he may be abrasive, but this is adjacent to the point I was trying to get to earlier. I personally think the deep state wants to do everything in its power to derail Trump and the success he will have through strength, by, unfortunately, I use the worst term, spanking the dog. Right. I don't know what that meant. That was a complete mistake, but I gotta pay the price for it. But
well done.
I still think Victor David Hanson kind of put it perfectly, and it's adjacent to what Scott Jennings had said, that we are really at the precipice right now of strength through peace to go completely awful or perfect. Right. And we're like, the decision, like, it's like when you have that like underlying problem with a friend or a frenemy that you never really want to talk about it, so you keep kind of dancing around the edge of the playground, because this is like, he's like, let's just bring it head on. I think the deep state will do everything in its power to derail Trump, to derail peace, to derail long-term, prosperity in America. I don't think that they want us as plebs. They want us with a weak dollar. They want us to be endlessly running on the wheel.
Yeah.
So my point is not so much that I trust Trump. I don't think it's going to escalate because of the subversion below or in the roots of this apparatus that thinks it owns and demands on its own self-survival.
I mean,
he's the only one, though.
Nobody else could do this.
The only thing about it, and I think Alex Jones's point tonight, he said something to the effect of, well, he already thinks that they have it because then they'll retaliate because that's what they would do or something like that. And I was just thinking, when Trump took out Soleimani, everybody was gung-ho. It was the greatest move ever. Yeah. And if you remember, people talked back then, they're going to respond. They're going to target our people over there. They're going to target the embassy. They're going to target soldiers in the area. we got to lob up some missiles here because we can't totally lose face, and they're going to fall into the middle of the ocean, and then that's going to be our response. They called him.
Yeah.
Remember him telling the story how they called him and told him?
I remember that.
Right? So it was the same conversation back then once they took him out. He takes out this guy. Everybody's like,
because he. And all of a
didn't
sudden,
respond.
they didn't respond. They had to save face because they have to project strength to keep their people in line. Because if they don't, all of a sudden, that's going to come back on them. So of course, they called him like, all right, this guy's serious. And again, you look to today, what Israel is doing there now is basically Trump saying, yeah, this is my guy. He's going to take care of it for me, and you know I'm serious now, right? Because that's the only difference Paul and I have, and you know, factions of Trump supporters, is do you think it'll be a ground war? I don't think so. I don't think that's what he's looking to do. I think he's looking for quick in, quick out. Let's get it done. Let's get out of there because it's not our problem. And I think he's empowered everybody else in that region. I think that's why he went to Qatar. He went to Saudi Arabia. He did the UAE to kind of get them in line, saying we're gonna finish this problem.
Point. Really good.
And you guys can come in, and we'll support you taking care of the problem.
That's a fantastic point. I couldn't. That's an outstanding point.
all of those people you just mentioned sleep better with Israel doing what they're doing. They may not outwardly admit it. They all want them to do their dirty work.
Right. Exactly.
Sure.
And if they can get the Israelis to do it, and they come out scot-free with their hands clean, right.
All right, we'll wrap it up on a Friday night right after this at the America First Warehouse. Live from Studio 6B. Real America's Voice, 103.9 LI News Radio. We're back right after this.
Nothing much. How you been? Yeah, a little bit. You remember? Did you play basketball? Yeah. Did you guys play together? Yeah. He was at development. Okay. Did you play on no, we didn't play together.
All right, let's see what's going on social media over here. China. Yep. Gordon Chang had a lot to say about China. Lisa Mello. I'm going to talk about that if I get a few minutes here. It's going to be tight, though. I want to bring the show to Alabama. I'll come to Alabama. I'll come to Kansas, too. Yeah.
That's a good word. Smidget. Budget. Smidget.
Okay. Does Kevin know? Kevin, can you hear Aaron? He doesn't have his earpiece in. Hang on.
Good Lord.
He's listening. Go ahead.
Actually, I show him the picture of her last week with me. Right?
Yeah, after the show.
Wait, is it short?
Aaron, it's been nice knowing you.
Oh, you know that guy?
No, he
We're taking a chance.
Aaron.
Oh, Mr. Softy.
Send your Aaron, send your
No, I get it.
Send your invoice to Vin this week.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, that's.
All right, we're going to follow your plan. Harry has his headset on, he said. He's landing a plane at Islip Airport right now.
Super chat $4.99, $4.99. Patty Jam Cat. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Iran built their own nuke too big and couldn't get it out of that mountain? That would be funny, Patty Jam Cat. Patty Jam Cat in the YouTubes.
What?
Hang on, what's Harry saying?
Harry.
That's Southwest Flight 225.
Harry, I want fries with that. Harry.
Did you say fries?
The final segment, ladies
Good
and
job,
gentlemen.
Harry, on the highway.
Final segment of the week on Live from Studio 6B. Coming at you live from the America's First Warehouse. We've got Patriot Michelle with us. Give it up for Patriot Michelle. I like your shirt there, Michelle. Let me ask you, how do you feel about the way Trump's handling Israel in any way, shape, or form? The ongoing war, anything you want to say?
Okay, well, I love that Trump is in support of Israel. I love that he moved the embassy to Jerusalem, recognized it as the capital, and I have to say, with or without the help of the U.S., but he's helping them out, Israel will prevail. And I love that he put Mike Huckabee as ambassador, and no two-state solution ever.
Yes.
No two-state. You know what? I agree. Let me ask you, Michelle. Do you think if we just said, hey, Iran, let's be friends, and just bygones be bygones, and just didn't care if they built nukes, what would happen in about 10 years?
They're not going to take out Israel.
They're going to try, though, won't they?
Themselves.
They're going to try, though. They can't be trusted, can they?
No.
Not at all. You wouldn't even trust them a little bit?
No, because they said what they're going to do.
They've made it so clear. Like Hitler wrote Mein Kampf. Hey, wait till I get in. Look what I'm going to do. And everyone went, yeah, he'd never do that. And he did it.
He did it. But Hitler's gone. The Syrians are gone.
Maybe.
Babylonians are gone. And Israel still stands.
Israel still stands. Yeah. Let's hear it for Michelle. Great shirt. Thank you for coming on. Back to you, Big D.
All right, KDJ, very good. Live from Studio 6B at the America First Warehouse on a Friday night. I'm interested to poll the audience because just to see, because obviously, and this leads me to just one final thing before I'll try to get to the guys here quickly. There's a piece by Steve Deace today over at Blaze Media, and it says the MAGA divide over Israel is a test of maturity. And he says conservatives shouldn't fear internal disagreement. It's how movements sharpen their convictions and weed out false idols. And he talks a little bit about the clash between Cruz and Carlson over the Israel-Iran conflict. And he says it isn't just a Twitter skirmish, it's a proxy battle highlighting a deeper divide within the MAGA movement. That divide cuts to the heart of competing worldviews. And I've spent much of the week on my show trying to make sense of it through a biblical lens. The internal debate isn't a problem. In fact, it's a strength, he says. And so I'm just curious here in the audience, how many people in the audience here, by show of just clapping your hands, think that America should stay out of this at all costs and all levels because it could lead to something bigger? How many people think Trump should, if given the chance, take this thing out and finalize this and keep, but make it known that he has no interest in anything the day after?
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So it's definitely not split in this room.
It's kind of close.
Do you think the people of Iran want their leaders gone?
Yes, 100%.
I think so too.
100%. This is not.
I think so too.
This is not. So that's a huge difference between
So
here
true.
and Gaza, where they pretty much know what Hamas is doing, and not only maybe support it but celebrate it.
Just watch the videos
But
of
it's not-
Iranians in the 70s.
Yeah.
Do you think that 2 weeks was to give the people time to go, maybe we'll wrap this up and get out of this without...
I think it's to weaken their defenses. They're gonna unload. They don't have a great military, Iran, so I don't think. Yeah, I think they were just trying to unload as much as they can to weaken them a little bit.
I thought it was not an op, but I thought it was a psychological move because nothing used to terrify me more than my mom getting mad and going, you know what, you're not in trouble now, but wait till your dad gets home. And then I'd spend 2 hours going,
To that point, I think certainly Trump now controls the timeline, not Israel, which I think is one thing for sure. I mean, to be honest, on both extremes, it wouldn't surprise me if something was to happen this weekend when everybody thinks Trump's in Bedminster and it's all quiet.
I completely agree. Yep.
But it also wouldn't surprise me if the 2 weeks is for something like what Vin said last night. I mean, it can make sense that maybe there's something else out there that Trump and our team is looking at, that maybe they have new information that they said, okay, well, I mean...
It's all of the above. I mean, I think it's one of the things Kevin said, which is, the people, the Iranian people, let's let them get a little more pissed off here and see if they'll take some action. It's, maybe there's something else out there that Trump's trying to be careful of. Hey, the good news is the guy's being thoughtful here and careful. Yeah. He's not doing what Bill Clinton did and others. I'm going to throw a Tomahawk missile across and see what happens. He's not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's thinking about it.
And then you've got the 2 weeks, and it could be they might be looking at it. The Iranians, the Ayatollah might be looking at it as, okay, we got 2 weeks to do something. Meanwhile, it's not the same as the 60 days. Right? He gave him a 60-day. This is your deadline. He said, well, I'm giving him 2 weeks, but he's not saying that this is a deadline 2 weeks. So it's anywhere in between that, and maybe he's hoping for a miscalculation on their respect, thinking we're going to do something in these next 2 weeks to move some assets, and all of a sudden, boom, they're exposed.
Yeah, that's what Dee was saying. I don't think on 2 weeks that's when it's going to happen. He said within.
Yeah,
and I hope they understand that in the translation.
Yeah, exactly. The translation. But 2 weeks.
He said we have 2 weeks.
I wouldn't be surprised if this really does lead to everyone getting to the table and talking. What did Trump mention about 2 weeks ago? Commerce over chaos.
Right.
I mean, it's in everybody's best interest to just start trading fairly amongst each other. I would not be surprised if this slows down the BRICS nations from coming up with a currency that competes with the U.S. dollar, because when the U.S. dollar loses its world reserve currency, our nation ends.
Right.
Don't think that's not on the table here. We die as a nation. We go into absolute, utter chaos and poverty if we lose control of the world reserve currency. That's a fact.
But not only that, it also shows a difference between the last administration, what Democrats look like, as opposed to Trump.
100%.
They got a little taste of it the first 4 years. Now they're getting a second dose. And this leads me to cut number 2, if I could play this quick one real quick. It shows you the difference between your Democratic leaders, what they're pitching to their people today, versus what we have right now in the president. Here's cut number 2. Check this out.
All I tried to do was just hold Edgardo's arm and ask the ICE agents, do you have a warrant? And they would not show me the warrant. And I said I'd let go of his arm as soon as they showed it to me, and they did not show it to me, and you saw what happened.
I get threats on my life. on the people that I love. And I try not to talk about it.
I was forced to the ground.
And here's the capper.
First on my knees, and then flat on my chest.
And now this is Trump. Here's the difference.
And the Emmy goes to...
Right?
Did you put that together?
No, I didn't. That was the great Mays Moore put that together.
Awesome.
But that's the difference between your Democratic leadership. Those are supposed to be males.
Right on. What time?
They sit when they pee every time.
Right.
Versus a real man who's sitting in the White House right now.
That's right.
Right?
Oh,
and that's what Iran is looking at.
Trump put out another truth tonight. He said, "I'm very happy to report that I have arranged, along with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a wonderful treaty between the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of Rwanda in their war, which was known for violent bloodshed and death." And then he goes on and he says, someone has put Trump up for a Nobel Peace Prize. He says, I won't get the Nobel Peace Prize for stopping war between India and Pakistan. I won't get the Nobel Peace Prize for stopping the war between Serbia and Kosovo. I won't get a Nobel Peace Prize for keeping peace between Egypt and Ethiopia. They only give Nobel Peace Prizes to Democrats. All right, I want to thank everybody at the America First Warehouse for another great Friday night show. As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel. Thanks all the guys on the show. Harry on the highway, Aaron Frank, great job as always. Joe the Box and everybody at the America First Warehouse. Want to thank them as always. But most of all, I want to thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you Monday night, 8 p.m. live, Studio 6B.